Welcome everybody to Race 2, Season 19 of the MRC GTTCC Championship. This is touring cars. We're at High Speed Ring. This is the Elite League, so kind of second league, Fusion coming in above. The grid order for this race is reversed. Apologies, I'm not going to read through everybody's names, but I'm sure you know who you are. But Race 1 was at Barcelona. I hope to bring that to you a little bit later. But effectively reverse grid. So the people who were first, so we've got P1 Rob, we've got iWin, we've got B Rated, which is me, at the back of the grid. But we're at High Speed Ring, just about to go. So as you can see, we've got Wilson in pole. I have no idea who's in second. I'm really sorry, but never mind. I haven't done this for a while, so apologies. But we're off. Brucey makes a hell of a start, so from 4th place up to 2nd, then into 1st. Surfer Ev sitting there in 3rd. We've got Wilson in 4th now, but he was on pole, so had a bit of a bad start. But that Mercedes just leaves the Lambos for dead. But corner 2, always difficult here. Let's see what happens. We've got Surfer Ev riding the green tarmac all the way around the outside into 1st place. So well done, mate. Excellent. Brucey in 3rd. We've got RC MBE2 in 2nd place in a McLaren. Sorry, it was P1 Rick before. Apologies, mate. Sorry. You can kick my head in next week. We've got Mark Schumacher in 5th. In the only front-wheel drive car. Everybody else is either in 4-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. But quite tight, obviously, as usual at the high-speed ring. Mixture of tyres come into play later on in the race, but at the start, pretty much everybody is on mediums. So, as you can see, Ivan made a really good start. So he was second last, so he was in 12th place, but he's up to 7th. Got Wilson in 8th, so he's heading backwards, unfortunately. Started in pole. 3 wide through turn 1. So we've got Wilson, P1 Rob, we've got Phil. So Phil's in Lambo as well. And we'll see how he gets on during the race. He's on a slightly different strategy to everybody else. But nothing wrong with that. So looks like we do have a bit of an incident then. Iwan has spun it. So we'll probably just go and have another look at that on board with him, or certainly kind of following him, I think. Oh, I thought I did anyway, but never mind. I didn't do that, but effectively he was round the outside of the wall, hit the wall a little bit, got a little half spin, collected the back end of Mark Schumacher, and round he went. Anyway, back up to middle field. So we've got Phil now in 5th. Brucey in 6th, so although he had a great start, he's starting to fall away a little bit now. Further up, we've got Surfer Ev, but we've got Valtteri Bottas now riding high in the Sylvia, so in 3rd place. RCMB now in 1st place in the McLaren. The McLaren 7-speed gearbox round here, it is pretty quick. So we'll just follow them into turn 2. So everybody using the green belt pretty much around the outside. It is the fastest way around. We're not allowed to wall ride, so we shouldn't be hitting the wall. It is inevitable. There are glitches and some lag involved, but again, most people try to avoid that. So again, RC MBE2 still in 1st. We've got Surfer Ev in 2nd. We've got Mark in 3rd. Valtteri in 4th. So yeah, strong start. You can see a bit of a split though between 6th and 7th place. Well, I should say 7th and 8th, sorry. But Wilson now in 8th. We've got P1 Rick going down the inside. Both these cars are quick, Lambo and the McLaren. You've got the Crow, haven't spoken about him, but so we've got Rob there in the Crow and another McLaren, but sitting there. Further back, we've got Iwan recovering. We've got Raffo behind me. We've got Maybe Rated. Kind of trying to desperately hold on to the toe. And we've got P1 Rick. Rick's never going to forgive me for that. I'm sorry about that, mate, honestly. So yeah, pretty much high-speed ring. Not many corners, all very high speed apart from this middle section, and all quite tricky. So obviously just switch into an onboard shot. So always amazes me because I don't race in GT very much at all these days, but when I come back, you've always got to love the visuals. It always looks pretty stunning. So just going from a front camera and rear camera view, we've got Wilson and Raffo duking it out in 11th and 12th. I think the view back is from my car, and you're going to watch me just get past here as if I was standing still. So here comes Wilson. So side view, nice MRC logo, so Mature Racing Club, and then I'm on the back of him. So looking further forward, so from P1 Rob's car at the minute, bit of a gap to the cars in front. So this front pack, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, pretty much, I don't want to spoil it for you, but they do stay together pretty well throughout this whole race. RC MBE2 kind of drops out of that, but some other people come into the fray later on in the race. This track kills tyres. Doesn't matter whether you're on mediums or softs, it kills tyres. Every corner is high speed. So you're going to see that come into play a little bit later in the race. So again, now Mark, apologies Mark, I missed that overtake. We'll just look at the side view here. Nice helmet. Here we go. So on board in second place, Surfer Ev fourth, Brucey in fifth. So really tightly knit this group. But in front, Mark in the front wheel drive, only front wheel drive car is got a bit of a little gap there, but we'll see what happens with that. So too wide going through turn 1, very high banking, high speed, flat out, no need to lift. Turn 2, probably the most difficult corner on the track to get right. So again, that green belt around the outside is kind of where you want to be. You have to be kind of quite brave to get there. So Mark in the front wheel drive, in the Scirocco diesel, I think it was. No, it's not a diesel, but never mind. It sounded funny at the time. So in first place, but still very, very tight. Phil in the Lamborghini in second place. And like I said earlier, Phil has a slightly different strategy to most, so we'll see that come into play very, very shortly. Both me and Iwan duking it out, so I think I chuck it down the inside here, but that doesn't work, and Iwan pulls away. You can see that gap. If you just don't hold that high line, you just pull away basically if you use that high line. So yeah, lucky 13 for B rated at the moment. 12th, poor Wilson down in 11th. So it is a really, really tight league. This league particularly, everybody gets on well. Everybody wants to race competitively and cleanly, but make no mistake, these are all fast guys in this league. There are no slow people at all, and I think that's what's nice about the league. There's a possibility that literally any of the 13 that were racing last night can win a race, given the right track, the right conditions, the right strategy. Everybody can win. So we're just going to skip forward a little bit because this is where the pit stops start to happen. So you can see Phil in the Lamborghini. He is into the pits quite early, so only a third of the way of the race through. So comes into the pits, taking on some fuel and some new tyres, because like I say, tyres take an absolute hammering. It's not possible to do a no stop on this track because it's wide open throttle pretty much throughout the race. Even when you do try and fuel save, you just drop too much time. the pit time isn't too long either, so it makes it worthwhile to pit stop. Probably the optimum is a one stopper. 2 stops, it makes it tricky. Although you're going to be fast, that lap time is about a second. You know, if you're carrying less fuel and stickier tyres, it's not a massive difference on this track. So as you can see, me and Iwan still fighting, probably about 10 laps on, so but cleanly. Maybe a couple of nudges here or there, but Robin's racing. So again, I take that low line. He does actually run the outside of the track, which on this corner doesn't help you. So this time it's stuck for me and I managed to take that place. So some pit stops happening. If I can bring your attention to fuel levels, so you can see the Crow and P1 Rob, they're in different cars, but literally have used the same amount of fuel. So both 22, 23. So in terms, it depends on how much fuel they're going to put in, but definitely one stopping. But we're only 11 laps in, so quite early on for a stop. So going to need quite a bit of fuel to get to the end. So yeah, so the Crow took on 60 litres. We'll just convert it into litres, and P1 Rob 61. So we're going to see how that plays out later on in the race. So did they take on enough fuel? So again, sorry about concentrating in the middle here, but myself and Ivan obviously still battling away. I certainly haven't taken a pit stop yet, so we're only at kind of 13-14 minutes, but I will stop soon. Brucey doing an excellent job, still in 5th place in the only McLaren in our league. Surfer Evan 4th, so they're coming into the pits. Again, we'll have a bit of a pit stop race. We'll see what fuel's like. So you can see RC MBE has used quite a lot, only kind of 18 litres left. You got Surfer Ev on 29, so he's definitely done well fuel saving. And we've got Brucey on 23, so again, not bad. It's about the standard figure. Tyres on, fuel in. Who's going to get out first? Let's see what they take on board. So you can see there, Brucey 62 litres. Roughly everybody's 60, so I took on 60 litres, so slightly less. Desperately trying to pick up a tow. Which undoubtedly is the quickest way around. Now this is really annoying. You can see there RCMBE and myself both got a 3-second penalty. When you leave the pits, it puts you on auto drive, but you actually do need to steer a little bit left, so as soon as you get control, because if not, you're going to break the white line and then get 3 seconds. So both RCMBE 2 and myself, B rated, both got penalties. Never very exciting to do that. Into the pits comes Mark, and we've got Raffo behind him. Got Valtteri as well, so he's in. So let's have a look. 16, 13, 18, 12. So Ivan, I think Ivan's done maybe a 2-stopper as well. I could be wrong there, but hopefully not. So P1 Rick with 22, so they're all in the pits together. So again, it'll be a race to get this fuel in, and out they get. So we've got Valtteri on board, and then right behind, they're so close. So Mark Schumacher right up Valtteri's bottom. So we'll see how that goes. So he's already... that Scirocco's, it is quick. It's hard to understand where it is quick. It's certainly not quick off the line, but everywhere else, so little weight, decent power, good mid-range. It does really, really well. So looking back, obviously the field's kind of now settling down a little bit, but we've got Phil in front on that 2-stop strategy. We've got Surfer Evan second, the Crow third. Behind that, no idea, because it jumps to 9th place. So we've got me at the back, or near the back anyway, with Ibuin again. P1 Rick, it hasn't worked out in his favour really, the pit stops. So then we've got, let's have a look. And there we go, in the quick fit McLaren. I'm not sure I'd trust my McLaren at Quick Fit, but if you do work for Quick Fit, I'm sure you guys are very professional. Just to cover that off, in case I get into trouble. So fastest laps now, the Crow has done a 1:14.528, so we'll see how that progresses. Mixture of tyres, so I've gone with a Racing Soft, quite a brave move considering we've still got kind of probably 13 laps to go, so we'll see how well they last. Fuel wise, I took on 60 litres or 60%, so we should be fine with that. You can see now we've got Raffo in 8th, 7th P1 Rob, we've got Brucey just in front in 6th, then we've got the gaggle of cars, so we've got the Valtteris, we've got Mark, we've got just everybody else in a group here. So got Mark in 4th, Valtteri in 5th, obviously Phil, the Crow, Surfer Ev all up front. So gotta say, Surfer, love the livery, looks very worthy of a Lamborghini. So all very close, start finish straight here. Raffo and P1 Rob, same car, but they're duking it out. Excuse me. I'm not going to edit that out because I can't be arsed. So me and Abe win 10 and 11th. P1 Rick in 12th, Wilson in 13th, but doesn't give up, so well done, mate. You just got to keep going. Obviously team logo there with the RSPCA MRC on it. So I'm not sure if you are watching the video and you're not an MRC member. MRC actually raises quite a bit of money for charities, so we normally get to pick what we want to highlight on the car in terms of which charity. We have some chosen ones, so the We Are Driven Foundation. There are lots of others, so you'll see some hospices named on here, some specific charities, whether it be the RSPCA. Obviously Mark, I'm not sure OnlyFans is a charity, but I'm sure he only watches OnlyFans just for the cookery lessons, I'm sure. So up front, obviously Phil is on a different strategy, so he's done a bit of a runner, so working out quite well at this stage of the race. We're roughly 20 minutes now in, 10 minutes left to go. So the races, race 1 and race 2 are 30 minutes long. Race 1 has qualifying, race 2 is just reverse grid from the result of race 1. So all very close, all starting to bunch up. My strategy of moving on to the softer tyre has definitely worked in my favour with a fastest lap of 1:14.028, which is kind of bringing me into this gaggle here, so 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, and I'm pulling Ibwin along as well for the fun of it. So not long to go, we've got 10 minutes to the end of the race, so we're currently on lap 16. We're looking at 1:15 a lap. Oh, RC MBE had a big whack into the barrier there. I had to back out to miss him, and it means Ibwin is going to get me, and we've got people in the pit. So Phil's now pitted for his second stop, so he's got racing soft tyres on. He's taken on kind of just above 30 litres, so that will get him to the end of the race. So he's got kind of 9 or 10 laps to go, I would imagine. Maybe 8. Can't remember how many this is. It's probably about 27 laps this race. I could be wrong. Well, let's have a look when we get to the end. So with Phil pitting, that's kind of promoted everybody up one. So you've got me now in 8th, Ivan in 9th, pulling him along. Further up the field again, we've got Surfer Ev, the Crow, Mark, all battling it out at the front, never very far apart. So as you can see here, so it's all to do with how far you can stick in that toe, so getting right behind the car in front. It means you're pushing less air. It means that you're saving fuel but travelling just as fast. So Mark's now in there. The Crow, he's kind of out of that. He's trying to stick with Surfer Ev in terms of the draft. But let's have a look. It's got Mark taking a very different line, very low line. Too wide. Here we go for turn 2. Yeah, it's a tricky turn. You can see in the background, I think it's Valtteri having a bit of a wall ride, but sometimes you just can't help it in this race. I don't think anybody really benefited from it. Iwin's got in front of me. So Brucey in 7th. Iwin 8th, me 9th. All very, very close and changing all the time. And actually I went round the outside of him there, but then P1 Rob gets a little bit sideways. I give him a little bit of a tap to help him on his way. Luckily he's still pointing the same direction, but that puts Iwin in front again. So some good racing in this one. So now it's starting to look at everybody's tyres, so you can see obviously the front right, particularly in the McLaren, just takes an absolute hammering because of all these left-hand high-speed turns. Fuel is going to come into play shortly. So lap times, you've got everybody like, you know, they're either in the 114s or the 115s, the odd 116 here or there, but all very, very tight in terms of lap time. So this group in the front there, so you got Mark, Surfer Ev, the Crow, Valtteri, Raffo. It's all very close together. Got to say, Mark, I love the racing suit. It's that looks absolutely amazing. And again, hats off to Polyphony in terms of look at the detail inside the car. Still one of the best looking racing games out there. You know, put some PC titles to shame. So on board, Mark's managing to get a tiny bit of a gap and a little bit of movement to try and break that toe. Got Surfer Ev in 2nd, looking back now from his car to the Crow. Got Valtteri there as well, he's right up there, 4th place. Behind Valtteri, there's a bit of a gap to Raffo, who's in the Vodafone McLaren. Let's have a look at this Nissan Silvia, looks mint. So We Are Driven Foundation logos on there. Again, a Vodafone car. Team Vodafone probably scored good points in this race, I would imagine. So we'll take a little bit of a side view. There we go. So not the prettiest looking car in the world, but I don't think Nissans ever were really. Not sure if Valtteri just got that wrong or got a little bit of a nudge there from his teammate, from Raffo, but let's have a look. Oh, it might have been the Crow, sorry, it's not his teammate, apologies. But yeah, look at that, looks great. So Raffo off the back there, so apologies, it was the Crow. So really, really close racing. You can see there's a few scrapes and dings on the front of Valtteri's car. I think everybody on this track suffers that. So not much longer to go. Well, literally it's a 30-minute race and finishing your lap. So we're currently on lap 21. We've got about, so just totally ignore me in terms of 27 laps. I think we're going to end up on 24. Back to Ivan's Golf. Livery looks very nice. Brucey under a bit of pressure from me. I just hit the barrier on the outside there, so back on board in the Macca. Desperately trying not to over rev it, but if you look at that front right tyre, it is gone. There is nothing left of that tyre. So, and you can see the lap times. I was at kind of 14.672 before on lap 19. Lap 20 though, 1:15.881. I don't think this is going to be a fast lap, so they're starting to drop away. However, there is still a bit of a twist to come in this race. So we'll see what happens. P1 Rob in 9th, RCMB 2. We've got Rick and Phil. Phil trying to recover on his 2 stop, so he's up to 11th. And on board. So again, his tyres, he went for racing soft as well. That front's not looking good in the rear either. We've got most people actually when you're looking through the field on racing softs. Wilson went with a medium, so he's got a bit of tread left, but there's not much left on there. So racing soft. Yeah. Rears are doing okay really. Still down there, but half a second. But yeah, that lap before was a 1:16, so after hitting the outside barrier, it didn't help whatsoever. So here we go. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Literally with nothing. A Rizla paper separating them, I think. Out front, Surfer Ev. He's been there all the way through, hasn't he? He's been right at the front. Oh, a bit of wall riding for Valtteri. It doesn't help you on this particular part of the track. It's cost him. You can see how much it's cost him. So probably about 5 or 6 car lengths there. We've got Raffo in 4th, challenging the Crow. Some great racing. He takes that place, so now in 3rd. Raffo. Crow now in 4th. Surfer Ev still got 1st place. Mark Schumacher in 2nd. Raffo, he's done well, hasn't he? He's in 3rd place. The Crow 4th. Valtteri 5th. I've got Iwan in 6th. Brucey 7th. Myself, B-rated in 8th. 9th, P1 Rob. 10th, Phil, so he's got another place. P1 Rick 11th. RCMBE, after, you know, that little kind of hit off the wall, that's dropped him all the way to 12th. And we've got Wilson in 13th, so not long to go. 29 minutes 21 seconds of this race, so definitely one of the lap, I think, for pretty much everybody. Which just shows you after 30 minutes of racing, everybody's on the same lap. It's that close. So got Valtteri trying to break that toe. The Crow's tucked in there, but Iwan easily overtakes the Crow. So I'm looking at his fuel and I'm looking at his speed, and his speed and revs have just dropped off. So the Crow, unfortunately, has ran out of fuel. Brucey now into 7th. I overtook Brucey before, so I'm into 6th. We've got Iwan in 5th. But let's get near the front, because this is where it's all happening. So halfway around the lap, we've got Mark in 1st now. We've got Raffo in 2nd. 3rd, we've got Surfer Ev. 4th, we've got Valtteri. Like I say, Iwan's up to 5th, so can Raffo make a challenge onto the final straight? Can he get a good draft down this? Very easy right hand corner, all flat out here. He's very, very close. Pushing hard. Oh, look at that. Closes the gap. Goes for the inside. I must admit, well, that Scirocco just pulls like a train. Kind of 5th and 6th gear. So we've got Mark 1st, Raffo 2nd. We've got Surfer F 3rd, Valtteri 4th, Iwan 5th, me 6th, Brucey 7th. 8th, Phil has made a recovery, but that 2-stop strategy really killed him. And we've got P1 Rob in 9th. Sorry, P1 Rick, then P1 Rob. Everybody's P1. Looks like P1 Rob's out of fuel. He's coasting. Will it get him across the line? 64 miles an hour, 60. Yes, he gets across the line. Well done. And the Crow's got no fuel whatsoever, so we're waiting for him to come round. Then we've got behind him RC MBE, and I think, unfortunately, Wilson was the only person who got caught, maybe a lap out. But anyway, folks, thanks very, very much for watching. This is the end of this one. Hopefully I'll get race 1 up very, very soon. But don't forget to tune in next week.